Have you ever felt like you're losing touch with the real world? Yeah, I know I have. Well, let's face it, a lot of us are kind of living in this online digital world. When was the last time you put down your phone and had a heart-to-heart with someone? So I had this wild idea. I hit up a nearby college, set up shop at a table, and basically said, "Hey strangers, wanna play a game?" I was curious to see if anyone would even open up to me, a stranger. And I was honestly shocked by what happened.
Hi, would you like to play a game?
I had a conversation with one of the friends I've made here, actually. I met him on Welcome Weekend, and we've been great friends since. We were talking about life, and then we got to this dilemma of what is the meaning of life? Because I texted him this, and I was like, I'm thinking about this so hard, and I can't talk to anyone about it. And I texted him, philosophy major, by the way, so like it goes hand in hand. And we were talking about it, and I said, I think the meaning of life is harmony. Harmony within yourself, harmony between you and the world, and it's just, if you have that, then like you just fulfilled your purpose in life.
I never would have thought I would need therapy, but I started therapy 3 months ago, and I've been doing it ever since, and it kind of shocks me because I didn't think I would learn so much from it, but I'm learning a lot about myself and what self-improvement I can do through therapy. So got out of a relationship and just kind of needed to process it with an outside perspective. Kind of was in my head a lot, just not really doing the great mindset-wise. So therapy kind of helped like validate all my feelings, help process them, move past them, and move towards bettering myself instead of like downing myself.
I think I have a very low tolerance for people who can't understand things, like right away. So I was probably mean to one of my friends who couldn't understand the concept, and I was very abrupt, and I was like, okay, whatever, like, just drop it. I'm not gonna help you anymore. And that's probably the last time I was mean to someone. I kind of felt bad because I kind of was like their go-to person for help. But like at the same time, right, I need to help myself, you know? I feel a little guilty for not being able to be there for them, but at the same time, I feel like at the time was best for me. You know, and kind of sad, but you know.
Do you still talk to a friend?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. But like whenever they ask me for help, I'm just like, no, I'm busy. But I feel really guilty. I gotta take care of myself first, though, you know, for studies.
I've gotten like tough, like rugged before because I like weightlift, and like they all expect me to like have that, but only I know that I am soft. Oh my God, I cry so much. It's actually absurd. Out of all of my brothers, I think I cry the most. My mom was telling me about it, but in our language, in Urdu, it's called being a dil peg, which literally translates to a heart thrower. Like you throw your heart anywhere. Like it's like a heart on your sleeve, but like so much worse. So I was talking to my grandmother about it, and she said that my grandfather was like that. And then from my grandfather, that went to my mother, and from my mother, that went down to me. So now I am deathly afraid of having a daughter because I would be so scared because she's going to wear her heart on her sleeve too. And like she would be soft too, and I don't want the world to like tear her up.
I feel like something tenderness is power though. Because
It
the world
is.
You know, the world is so hard sometimes.
So people are like, well, that's great because you have great emotional intelligence and like you can read situations and all that, but people say turn your weaknesses into your strengths. I feel like that's my path right now. I'm trying to like discover a way to turn that into a strength. It used to be like, I would be like, yeah, guys, I'm totally tough because I was fronting for like the first couple of months of school. But then like, yeah, I've kind of like stopped caring about that. So I've like dropped my guard, I guess you could say. I've opened up to a lot of people too. When I originally got here to the school, I was like, oh, like these people don't know like what they're talking about and all that. But as I was talking to my professor right now, she was telling me about having more compassion, and I guess that's what I like unknowingly did. I had more compassion towards people, and I was able to open up to them, and for the most part, I haven't regretted it at all. And it's been great, it really has.
Self-love, to me, means like self-improvement, so always working to like better yourself, always working to do right by other people. I mean, I'm a very people pleaser person, so like self-love to me is just making other people happy and seeing like the gratification I bring to other people. And what it doesn't mean to me is like downing yourself. So always having bad annotations or bad thoughts about yourself, and just not having like a great outlook on life. Because if you don't have a great outlook on life and you're always like thinking about the negative, then you're never going to have any positivity in your life. When I have those negative moments, normally I have ways to bring myself out of it, like listening to music, watching like one of my favorite shows or something like brings me out of it. But if it's like a couple of weeks that I've been deep in it, I'll try and like get out of the apartment, get out of school, kind of just go somewhere by myself, like go to a museum by myself, just walk through it, kind of just experience life by yourself. I isolate myself a lot in my like apartment because I'm like a hermit. So getting out and adventuring helps me get out of my comfort zone, so it kind of brings me out of my like down mindset when I'm stuck.
I think self-love means like being able to like look into yourself and being like, are you happy where you are? And if you're not happy, I think it means you have to change. You have to change what's not making you happy. Am I happy with my decisions, my actions? And if that's my meaning of self-love, you have to take the time out of your day to be like, okay, was that the right decision?
So when you feel bad about something, how do you cope with it?
Do better the next day. Do better the next day, you know. Tomorrow's a new day, new opportunity. So you gotta like seize the next day. Make sure you change what you like regretting the day before.
Somebody called me a softie, but somebody called me like a teddy bear. And then I was like, what? No, I'm not. And then I was like, oh my God, I am. I didn't like hearing that because I had built up this front of I'm a tough, rugged guy. They were like, oh, you're actually like really soft. Initially I ran from it because I didn't want to like drop the front, like I said, but then like I've learned to embrace it, and yeah, like I said, I haven't regretted it at all. So I guess that was one way of turning a weakness into a strength. I just recently started embracing it. More compassionate, be more understanding of people, where they're coming from. Understand that not everybody is the same. Like, I came in here thinking that, oh, everybody's like really religious and they're all gonna like use that as an excuse to like stop thinking. But I've learned more and more that some people integrate religion into philosophy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I need to understand where they're coming from, and I need to understand that not all of them are wrong. Just because it's religious doesn't mean it's wrong.
I feel like everyone has that tender side of them, and I think it's so beautiful. I want it to be embraced more.
I wish I saw more guys embracing it. That'd be so cool, but
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm a pioneer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
Probably childhood. I really miss like childhood. Like the feeling like things aren't the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas isn't the same. You know, the feeling of Christmas, the feeling of like nostalgia. Like malls or decorations, you'd be like in so much amaze and wonder and like, oh my God, it's Christmas. It's awesome, right?
Do you think you can find it?
I think if I like really slow down and like take the time to like look around and be like, oh, I could probably like try to get like a little bit of the feeling, but it won't ever match the Chino Hill shops. And you're like, oh, everything's so decorated, and there's like water fountains and there's Christmas music playing, and it smells like, you know, like cinnamon. That first time experiencing it, right? It's you can never recapture that, and I feel like that's a feeling I miss.
I'm a huge procrastinator. I'm a very big procrastinator. So I think like trying to figure out what works best for me, or like, you know, how to kind of work through that and make things easier for myself. And then like that affects like how you're thinking, that affects your whole mood and everything. Like it affects your entire being at the same time. It's helped me to maintain my mood, or like just not fluctuate my mood. I can get very manic, especially if there's like just like a lot of work. Kind of like my mood just like starts like shifting, going like really up and down. Just super manic. Be like super happy, and then just like being like a super depressive. You know, procrastination, that leads to like you like, you know, pushing off the work, and you know that you have to do this work, but you know that if you're not doing it, it just becomes like a negative feedback loop. Like you can't get yourself to do something. I guess there's like certain things I'm still learning. Just like doing at least a little bit, just something. And I can't do everything at once, but just doing like a little thing, because then sometimes I just need like a little jump start, like a little like a wind up, like a cold start, you know.
You deserve to take a breath. Relax for a moment. You've made it this far. You take that in.
received. Received. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think I needed to hear that.
Exactly where you need it.
Yeah, basically, yeah, really, truly.